Hello everyone, welcome back to Skeledon, Bushcraft and Survival. Thank you very much for joining me. I've got my sister, my niece, and my nephew. We're out here just enjoying these good old woods. Well anyways, today's video is going to be a two-part video. The first one is going to be picking out the winners for the giveaway, and the second one I had a request for the difference between Eastern Cottonwood and Plains Cottonwood. So we're going to do both. First things first, the giveaway. Alright. I've got this bag right here, and I've got all the names that entered. Frontier Survival, Steven Sidon. If I mispronounce your name, I'm sorry. But I have them all here. We're going to shake them up. I'm going to have him pick.
One did.
Yeah, just one. All right. Frontier Survival. You won, brother. All right. Congratulations. You know how to contact me. Go ahead and send me your information, and I'll ship that right out to you. All right. Let's go ahead and get over to the cottonwood trees and do that part of the video. Let's go ahead and go through the differences between an Eastern Cottonwood and a Plains Cottonwood. And let's go ahead and start with the appearance. Number one, for an older tree, you see the bark here, it's really thick, it's got deep grooves, it's gray. And a Plains Cottonwood, it almost looks identical except for it's a little bit different color. It's more of a brown and a yellowish color. Now the limbs, when they're small, they're kind of gray. For Eastern Cottonwood, kind of gray and fairly smooth. For same thing for the Plains, it's smooth, but it has a different color. The leaves are different, and I don't have the leaves, but I will show a picture of the difference between a Eastern Cottonwood leaf and a Plains Cottonwood leaf. They're similar, but they do have differences. Both the width and the height of Eastern Cottonwood is much larger than a Plains Cottonwood. Now, Eastern Cottonwood can actually grow up to 120 feet tall, and it can grow up to like 6.5 feet wide. A Plains Cottonwood is not really going to get that wide, maybe 6 foot, 4 to 6 foot, but it probably won't get any further than that. And it doesn't get but maybe 100 foot tall at the most. In fact, most generally it only reaches around 70 foot tall, whereas a Eastern Cottonwood can reach 90 to 100 in no time. The root system is different. And of course, where they live is different. What they can handle as far as environmental is going to be different. Eastern Cottonwood likes moist, damp environments, whereas the Plains Cottonwood actually doesn't. It likes high elevations, it likes low water levels, and it likes drier plains. Drier plains. It can be found growing in the desert. Now, in one of the questions that I got there and wanted to talk about is like the ones in a TV show back in the day. Those are Plains Cottonwoods. Another version of that could very well have been is a Rio Grande. All species can break off into more than one trunk coming out of the same root, but more likely you're going to see it in the Plains Cottonwood and the Rio Grande Cottonwood, and you won't be seeing it in the Eastern Cottonwood. Not to say, like I said, all of them can, and you can see it, but it's more common for the other. So for that TV show, it could have been a Rio Grande Cottonwood, more than likely it was a Plains Cottonwood. In a desert area like Texas or something like that, or out on the plains part of it, Plains Cottonwood can grow and grow very easily, whereas the Eastern Cottonwood cannot. The difference there is because of how the roots work. The Eastern Cottonwood, they've got really strong roots and they will grow far and out, but The plains cottonwood will actually grow down and out a lot further in order to be able to get moisture. Another thing that makes it different is that a eastern cottonwood can sit by a river or a creek or something like that, water area, high volume, very moist environment, and be just fine. Whereas a plains cottonwood cannot. But I do have to add that there's a lot of similarities. And so, some of the same things that I said, in fact, most of the same things that I said about the eastern cottonwood in that video, and I'll leave that up here, you can check that out, is very true for the other species of cottonwoods. Alright, and I also want to include, which I forgot to say earlier, that the plains cottonwood can grow in very a large amount of areas, different areas, but the land itself that it's growing on has to be well drained. If it's too moist, it cannot survive. It has to have constant sun, and if it's in a shade area, it will die off. Whereas the eastern cottonwood flourishes in shade and very moist conditions. Alright, well, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you very much for joining us. They all wanted to be in a video, and I love it when they do. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome.
So thank you very much for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this type of video, please like, share, and subscribe. I have many more coming up in the future. Until then, take care. And remember, nature, it does provide.